All right, we're live.
All right. How's it going, you guys? So, we're finally reaching the end of the character creation. Hey, Grip, how's it going? And today we're talking about careers in Mythras. So, if you want, we'll just get right into it. Once again, this Mythras rules. Why do the rules make Mythras good for role playing? We're just going to cover a couple things. Is what is your character up to right now? Right, that's what this careers thing. Like, if you're talking about D&D, they have their backgrounds. That was what was your character up to up until the moment they started adventuring, and then their class is like, okay, what are we doing now? I would say that in Mythras, there is no mechanical thing. It's like, okay, what is your character doing now? That's what you're doing at the table. The careers are up to right before the game started. How did your character, what is their experience? What is on their resume? So we're going to talk about those careers. We're going to talk about some optional limits that game masters can put on those careers to enhance the role play and the verisimilitude of their games. Talk about custom careers, and then just some finishing up stuff so we can finish up character creation. That is age and the starting elements. I'll give it to you, Elf Hunter.
So, careers are, it's what your character embarked on as part of the transition to adulthood, by default at least. And like you pretty much explained it already, you could be still doing that, or you could be doing whatever now. But it's up to this point, what have you been doing? As well, it further defines your character's skills. So skill-based game, and you got some skills from your culture. Now you're getting some from your career. You have like a pool of points, and you can add some of those points to your standard skills, and then you choose 3 professional skills and add points to those as well. So your career will define what those skills are that you can choose and further define your skill development.
Exactly. And so I did want to make sure, because some people, they see the 7 skills, they think they can choose all of them, but you can only choose 3 of them. In the same way where two people from one career are still going to be very different because of how they spend on not only their standard skills, but the chosen professional skills. That's the exact same thing with a career. You can have 2 crafters who work on the same thing, but they choose different professional skills. So they're still different, right? Anyways,
right.
Yeah, throw on that other slide. The optional limits. These are the how can we make the world come more to life? So first off is you can have, based on your cultural background, the game master can decide whether that is narrowing your list of skills or whether it broadens it, right? If you have a very simple society who it's like, hey, we ain't got much time to do anything except wake up, hunt, eat, go to sleep, then you're gonna have a very short list of careers. Most of them probably be different kinds of hunters and foragers. Whether on the other hand, if you have a very maybe it doesn't even have to be an advanced society, but they have something that gives them more leeway, more time, they can diversify those careers, so you'll have more more careers to choose from, and by extension skills. And then another thing is, maybe you do live in an advanced society, but one example given in the book is maybe they kill any magical babies. It's like, oh, this baby is showing signs of magic, kill it, So then the magician's career would be absolutely prohibited in that culture. So that's one thing you can do. And then in similar ways, there's the social classes, and this is all given in the book. I love it because if you look in the rules section for creating your character in some game systems, it's almost like roleplay is worse than an afterthought. It's never even discussed. But in this chapter, in the sidebars, they're talking about the role play opportunities that you can have. It's like, okay, well, what careers can you not choose because you're in a social class? Like, hey, the example it gives in the book is if you can't be a merchant if you're from one of the higher up classes because they want to avoid corruption. But then the other way you can set it up is like, maybe you can only be a merchant because if you are in one of those higher classes. So that like that already is showing you what kind of society you're living in, right? Only the rich can be merchants, and they have sort of like this oligarchy going on. Those are some just interesting things as you as a game master and as a player talking with your game master when you're creating the setting. Figure out, how can we make this to get the combined world even better?
Yeah, so you're defining your character and your world building at the same time.
At the same time.
And a lot of the advice in the book will say, like, ask your games master. We would take it a little bit further and say, just the whole table collaborates on this setting.
Sure.
Custom careers. What's in the book is very good.
There's 24 skills or careers in the book.
Yeah, it covers a lot. But if you want to make something custom, you can do that. Agree with your table, talk about that. Choose 7 standard skills and 7 professional skills for that career. And remember that your combat styles are considered standard skills, your magic skills are your professional skills.
Yeah, that's one of the few things I think that Mythras, it doesn't do too much like baking into the setting, right? But that's the one thing where it says, yes, magic is a professional skill, even if everybody in society uses that. And I would say it's probably a good thing because even if everyone in society uses, say, folk magic, which we'll get to after a while,
yeah,
a carpenter is going to use folk magic differently than, say, an explorer.
Absolutely. And I suppose you could change those things, but
yeah, if you want to make magic a standard skill, go for it.
It's a good base. I think the fact that you can make custom careers speaks to how the book expects you to play it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's less of a do this, and then play. It's more of a the rules should support whatever you guys want to do, what your table wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of customizability with that.
It's almost like the rules are supporting the role play.
Absolutely. So another thing is age. By default, Mythras assumes you start out as an adult, like a young adult.
I think I'm in the middle age category according to Mythras now.
I know, me too. I'm 30 years old. I'm middle-aged. Evidently. But yeah, so it affects a few things. It affects bonus skill points. So bonus skill points is more points that you get that you can add those points to whatever skills you already have. As well, you can add one more skill that reflects an additional hobby or interest. So it rounds out your character. And depending how old you are, you might just have a pool of 100 points or 200 points.
It goes up to 300 for the old guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So it reflects life. You learn a few things by the time you're old. As well, it affects the maximum amount of points that you can put in a single skill when you're adding those bonus skill points. I believe it also affects, as you get older, starts to negatively affect your strength, constitution, and dexterity.
Yes, for sure. We'll talk about that. There's so many, I guess, optional systems the game adds, but we'll go over that in another episode. Hey, Nicholas, how's it going? All right, so this is the end of the character creation. Don't worry, this is not the end of the game. But there are some starting elements just to finish things off. First is that starting equipment. I want to be very clear here. The starting equipment you get is just a base. The money that we talked about, that you're starting money from an earlier episode, you can use that to augment this starting equipment. So that starting equipment is your clothing, your weapons, your armor, and your transport, which depending on what social class you are, you're obviously getting a lot more or a lot less. If you're a slave, you're basically going to have nothing except for maybe a couple sets of clothes. Whereas if you're part of the ruling class, you're going to have mountains and mountains of things that you can augment even more with the vast amounts of wealth that you probably have. But after that, of course, is What about magic? Well, if you're in my game, then you don't have magic. But magic is a very fun part of Mythras, and it's a great decision point for your table and your game master to be like, well, do the characters start with magic? Is that something that they would have at their position? In other games such as D&D, if someone chooses to be a wizard, then they have magic. There's no say in it, right? But in Mythras, it's up to the table. How do they want to start? And we'll go into the magic chapters a little later, talking about, okay, you are starting with magic. How much magic do you have? But it's not a given. You can decide as a table whether people start with magic. The next thing is cults or brotherhoods. And when I say cult, that isn't like sort of the modern vernacular where it's like, oh, they're in a cult, they believe these crazy things. It's more like a cult where they follow a certain like philosopher or a certain study where they, that's just what they do. We're the cult of roleplay here, right?
Yeah.
And then brotherhoods, really the only difference between a cult and a brotherhood is if they have magic or not. There's a great chapter about this. This is one of the main rules that support roleplay in Mythras.
Absolutely. I love that they have a whole chapter on it.
So great.
I've heard some say it's the best chapter.
It's up there for sure. But of course, deciding whether your character starts in a cult or a brotherhood is another thing that you as a table can figure out. Maybe some characters do, some characters don't. The book does advise that if you do start in a cult, not to start very high. It says no more than a common member. How Mythras? Well, you can go read the rule book for How Mythras, Ward Grimes.
Yeah.
Where Mythras? It's on my bookshelf. But that is pretty much everything for character creation. And I will not deny that Mythras character creation is a lot more involved than other game systems. Thank you, Zonwar. I appreciate it. But by going through your character concept, not just as, oh, I am human fighter, even though that's the most base class. They go through your characteristics, your attributes, your skills, your culture, background, career, so many steps. But finally, at the very end, you have a extremely fleshed out character. And then in the little summary they give you, when it says finally, notice we didn't actually say it, but of course your character needs a name.
Yes.
Now that you've completed everything, please choose a name and look for a way to establish connections to your to the players at the table and their characters, right? Because all of this, you've connected your character to their culture, to society. You have family, you have friends, you have enemies, you have rivals. But what about your other players? They decided not to put any rules for that, which is probably a good idea. There's some other games that have rules for that.
Yeah, and I think it's because they're trying to support role play or support everyone getting involved together. But I like that it's open-ended. Talk with your table.
I guess if you really need rules for it, you can just go look at a Powered by the Apocalypse game.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Doesn't look like there's too many comments, so I guess we can just end the video there. Who Mythras? That's a good one. I don't know who Mythras. Who is John Mythras?
It is, I believe, Pete Nash and Lawrence Whitaker are the John Mithrases.
No, they two together. They form John. They have to be like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. All right, I think that's all. So I'll go ahead and end for the VOD. It'll end right here. Thanks for watching.
Zonalar, yes, I will teach you how to have everything repeated for you. Just as soon as the thing ends, press replay.
We'll hang out for a bit if anyone has questions, comments, anything like that. It's Mythras time.
Bro, my favorite part was when he Mythras all over the place.
Oh, yes. Hello,
nice
Peter.
To meet you, Peter Hogg.
A new chatter. Nice to meet you, Pete.
Well, if there's no other questions, literally, we'll post the VOD later, so we're not in a rush or anything. But if you don't have any questions, I'm not going to sit here all night.
We'll give him a second, but
struggling with learning Warhammer 40k Wrath Is it Wrath plus Glory, or are you supposed to read it as Wrath and Glory? I can only learn one system at a time. Unfortunately for you, Zenalar, you've chosen the wrong one.
Yeah. Now that I've been introduced to Mythras by Adept Dawson, I don't feel like reading a bunch of other systems. How to establish the scope of passions. You're talking about in Wrath and Glory? I wouldn't know.
I feel like I would get annoyed if the game was telling me your passion can only be this big.
Yeah.
Like, what if I just have a passion for redheads? Are you telling me that that's too broad? Maybe redheads is allowed, but brunettes isn't, because there's too many brunettes. I think the best way for me. Well, let me read the question in case anyone's just listening to this video. How do you guys do it? Reading mechanics. It's the most boring part of the hobby for me. How do you do it, Elf Hunter? Like, if you're just like, okay, I have to learn these mechanics. How do you do it?
I probably do it the foolish way. I sit down and force myself to read for hours on end, wait a month, and then get back into it and read the whole book. And I've read the book multiple times. But I like what you do better.
You know what I do.
You read a few pages before bed every night.
Just as much as I want. It's never like a goal. If I read half a page, I'm like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. That's a good way to, especially for a first reading. It's just like, just read what you want to. Was this War Grimes? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If that sounds crazy, like you're rereading the book, well, I mean, it's not every page, every word. You skim things you already know. You're not necessarily starting from beginning to end. You know, you're looking for reading specific passages. You know.
Even as a GM, if I haven't read the rules, then I'm not going to GM a game. But if I'm GMing a game and I realize I don't know the rules enough, then I'll still do the exact same thing. I'll read it as much as I feel like before bed. And if I make a mistake at the game table, then I'll know, I should probably look that up, and maybe we'll figure it out at the end of the game. Yeah, just like Wargrim is saying, just learn by your mistakes. That's chill.
That's what I do. That's my MO. Of course, I'm not waiting on purpose to do that. I'm trying to learn, but I often make mistakes the first time, you know. That's normal. As well, you can practice. I want to make a video on this, but just briefly, I'll say you can practice with your other players. You can take a break from your campaign and say, we're just going to practice these combat mechanics, and we're going to practice when to say such and such, how to role play, in what order of operations we do the roles, and so that it gets smoother and faster each time. As well, I just discovered this recently, but it sounds like common sense. You can practice by yourself at home. You can do, it's like doing your homework. Like any other hobby, you would practice by yourself at home. You wouldn't just wait till you're in the classroom or with the sports team or whatever. You have to do it by yourself too. So that's what I started doing. It's like, okay, I want to get smoother and faster at this. So I did a little combat session. And practice makes perfect.
I don't know, man. I just like showing up to music practice, not even having touched my instrument.
And you can tell when the bands that do that.
Oh man. Along with the practicing, it doesn't necessarily have to be combat. There are some times where everyone kind of realizes, there's some good job, Gardner guy. There are some times where you realize, hey, there's some confusion, or it's a little bit more complicated in certain parts of the rules. And so practicing those certain things, every game system is different at different parts. And some game systems are purposefully vague because they want the table and the game master to figure out how they want it best to be. like most games when it comes to social mechanics in any way. I think it's pretty much impossible to nail those down in a mechanical way that is satisfying without. I mean, I guess I could just stop there because it has to be satisfying, and to be satisfying, it has to be fast enough and simple enough to run easily at the table, but also get all the intricacies correct. And I just think that's impossible. So most games, if they have good social mechanics of any kind, they're pretty vague.
Do you run practice sessions before doing 4D sessions? I toyed with the idea. That is not a bad idea at all for learning mechanics.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we're teaching Mythras to new players. It's like teaching the mechanics as we play. And of course, if you need to speak out of character for a rules question, you have to because you're still learning.
Yeah, I'm
Practice
actually
session.
running a beginner Mythras game right now, going through the unofficial Mythras starter set. And that's exactly what I told the guys. I was like, hey, I'm not even really telling them, oh, you need to roleplay with 4D, but I did introduce, like, hey, we're trying to act more in character, let the character side of your brain make the decisions more than like the mechanical gamer side of your brain, right? And honestly, I've been really pleased with everybody in the game. They've been doing a great job. And of course, we still stop sometimes to be like, oh, well, how does this work? Or, hey, I missed this, right? And that's okay. I mean, the game is still fun when everyone's still focused, on the role play. But also, they're mature enough to, hold on, guys, time out. I'm very confused at this one thing. Fix that real quick, and then the game keeps going.
Yeah. I hope we can get the idea of practicing and practice sessions to be more common.
Just wrapped up session 1 of Wrath and Glory now. Really, just now. Well, I'm glad you made it for this the stream.
Yeah.
I'm asking at the local game store's Discord if anyone is open for a Wrath and Glory session, so I can use local games as practice sessions to learn the system. Yeah, not a bad idea. Hopefully you don't pick up any bad habits, but I think that's pretty easy to avoid. The I would be interested to read Wrath and Glory, at least until I got tired of it. I've sometimes picked up games to read. And I'm just like reading. I'm like, yeah, this ain't for me. So I just put it down.
Yeah. That would have benefited us a lot if we did a practice session before the nutshell game. Yeah.
What did Wargrime say? It says I may need to actually record myself to make a solo session actually real, though. I'm not sure what he means by that. Is it not real if it's not recorded?
Yeah. Do you mean to motivate yourself to do it?
Oh.
If that's what you need, okay. There you go.
Yeah. Finding any way to motivate yourself, that's a good way to do it.
I had skipped some comments.
I think most of them were thrown off by redheads. I shouldn't have brought them up.
I know. Blue eyes or green eyes?
The rules will tell you have to choose one because you can't have a wide scope.
Yes. If you're like me, in a video game, you always do what do you call it? Heterochromia, where you get one of each.
Can't make a decision. Indecisive. You just be like me. Just default character. Give him a sword. Fighter. Human.
Okay. Yeah. Like for me, when I practice, it's not really a session, not role playing. I'm just like, okay, here's a monster. I think it's called a slugger. Slogger. Thank you. And here's me. I'll be a 70% combat guy with a spear and shield and some heavy armor. And let's just go see what happens. So that really helps me practice my special effects. Of course, you can. You need to practice role playing too, right?
I feel like
So-
role playing by yourself is difficult.
Yeah. So that's more like when we do a practice session together, is when I can practice role playing. When I'm by myself, I don't.
Do you want to read this one?
Solo sessions, you can play any way you want. I see some people really like doodling art and basically write a diary. There you go. Like the social aspect of RPGs, so solo sessions don't appeal to me. I've tried it a number of times, and yeah, it's not the same.
Honestly, if I had more time to play, I would just play more games. But I would like to have solo sessions as an option if, like, you know, I couldn't get anyone I wanted to play with, to like the schedules weren't working. I could see soloing as a good time, but I just don't have time for that.
Yeah. You don't need rules. And when wanting to play solo, I boot up a computer game instead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Like
true.
you can't really role play with a computer game that much usually.
It's hard to role play by yourself.
But
anyways.
yeah. So yeah, I'd probably rather boot up a computer game. But I have tried it and had a bit of fun with it a few times. So
I feel like you would probably have more fun playing a solo RPG than playing a video game.
I might. I don't know. Because I always quit video games too. I get bored.
You came up to me and said, "What if there was a video game that ran like Mythras?" I'm just like, "Bro, just solo game Mythras."
Maybe I will. Something that could help solo games is having a book to reference of like the setting, so you actually be surprised with things. I've never done that. I've done a few things where it's like I draw from a deck of trading cards, and I'm like, okay, this is my encounter. It's this guy. But
yeah. All right. Does
something.
anyone have any questions about the rules of Mythras and how they help roleplay? I love the discussion. I could sit here and talk for hours about role playing. That's why we have a whole Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, solo gaming is a pretty good way to prep. I would say, in the same way that like un-PC games are great for like setting up settings and like premises, I feel like solo RPing could be a good way to develop a setting. But then at the same time, like, you're developing this whole setting, but what are you going to do? Make a large printout to give to some players when you decide to finally use the setting?
Yeah, I don't think I would. You could. I don't think I would. Rather just talk with the players and be like, this is my idea. What do you guys think? And then we change it from there.
Yeah. Now, this is maybe a completely different stream, but I actually think I actually think that there's a bit too much, like, what's the word? Maybe too much pushback in our community against established settings.
There is.
I think that, I mean, obviously it's up to each person how much is too much, but if you get a group of gamers who are, well, role players really, who are all dedicated to a setting and will put in the work to learn about the setting, or maybe are just interested in the setting already, so they have background knowledge, there's a special sauce, you know, that like it really helps everyone get into it, because you don't have to, I guess, create as much. It's just already there. I think that's sort of when like, who was it? When Ark was talking about like a setting already there. I think that's what he's kind of keying in on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah.
What is Wargrime saying?
If the GM has higher resolution, though, does that get in the way of 4D? You mean higher resolution than the players? I think if you're using a pre-existing what do you call it? Established setting, you have the players read it too.
Yeah, and also, like, for example, let's say you're playing a Star Wars game. If I'm playing in a Star Wars game and we're just, going, and someone says, "Oh yeah, the Kessel Run. That was Jimmy John who did that." And I'm sitting there as a player. I'm like, "No, that was Han Solo." But I'm not gonna do that in the game. Like if that person said it and their character would be knowledgeable about that. We're in fan fiction territory anyways. Like as soon as you start in an established setting, it's fan fiction.
Yeah.
So if you 4D something else that I guess contradicts the material, who cares about the material? If their character would have been knowledgeable about that, that's good. If their character is not knowledgeable about that, then they could just be wrong.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Settings established by published material, does that get in the way too? Stuff is because of the book, not because of the shared shamanic world.
It says build up any establishment in anyone's mind. That's potential dissonance. I mean, I feel like that's no different than playing in a campaign for an extended amount of time with no prep beforehand, right? And then everyone slowly built up this campaign, and then maybe like 30 sessions in, someone says something that goes against the lore, right? And that whole lore was made during the game. That's okay. They may be wrong. Something may have changed. I think it's probably, or maybe it's not the case all the time, right? It's a more complex world. What's this say? Sorry, go ahead.
You don't roleplay in an established setting to become an unpaid custodian. Outside of the players sitting at your table, nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. No one wants to play a boring character in an established setting. I mean, your character should be closer to Luke Skywalker than Aunt Beru.
Yeah. He feels the pressure to preserve the universe while running Warhammer 40k. You try your best, but if something happens, you can roll with it, or you can have one character correct another character, but it shouldn't be super high pressure like that,
Yeah, I would say it's more difficult in certain settings. For example, like 40k, there's like so much lore in 40k, and like, oh, well, what about this? What about that? With Star Wars, it's probably less difficult because even though there's a bunch of lore, a lot of it contradicts one another, and a lot of it's like the extended universe, so it's like no one really cares. And then I guess it gets even easier if it's like there was one book about this one thing, right?
Let's go back to Wargrimes. But that extended campaign is shared and built up together and emergently. But if it's because of the book, then that's either homework or quizzes. 40k is brutal for it.
Yeah, so going to that, like, it was built up emergently. I don't think the fiction and lore of the world is necessarily qualitatively better just because it was come up with at the table. Like, if someone does something that's faux pas because of the lore that was built at the table versus they do something that's faux pas because of the lore that was written by some nerd beforehand, I feel like you handle it the same way.
Yeah. And to the homework and quizzes comment, certainly can be. Like we said, each table is comfortable with a different level of reading, and hopefully you're reading something that you're just interested in reading.
Yeah.
So it's not homework to you.
I would even go further than saying just not each table, but each player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're in the same way that if I'm at a wargaming table and I'm trying to role play, I'm the guy who's doing something wrong. I need to go somewhere else. Like, let's be real. If I'm going to I don't know, what's some horrible, not horrible, but something I'm just not really interested in. I don't know. If I'm at a K-pop boy band game and there's a bunch of lore I'm supposed to know about, like, I don't know, K-pop bands, then I'm doing something wrong. I need to go to a different table. It's like, guys, I'm just not interested in this. I'm not interested in learning about this lore.
And some people would be, but yeah, find the table that you're actually interested in. Wargrimes says lore could be crap, but if it's in the shared narrative space, then it's shared. No dissonance. Only game space narrative.
I feel like that's also, it does bring up a good point that even in the real world, all the lore is not settled. So trying to get everything to be the same way doesn't really make sense. Going to this next comment, it says that need to be doing something else. It's many shades of gray before becoming black and white. The more we like it, the more we care. The more we care, the more potential disappointment. Sorry, I thought those were connected, but I think I'm off. I don't know if they're connected or not.
The need to be doing something else.
Oh, that was talking about like I'm at the wrong table. I think that's what he's referencing.
Oh yeah, that can happen. Yeah. That's why session 0 is important. And you can check in and have multiple session 0s. It doesn't even have to be a formal session. You could just text somebody, text the group chat. Guys, what are you thinking about this game? It's kind of going a different direction than I thought it would.
Yeah, I'm not really that interested in this direction.
But yeah, that can happen. That's fair. Imperfect shared understanding of news or of history.
Yeah, for sure. But obviously, all my viewpoints are correct.
Z says, it's nice to have 20 minutes before the game starts and just talking with each other about details about the world, because chances are one of them can help you fill the gaps. Yeah, I like doing that. Because even if you're in character, you're keeping the resolution up during the game as best you can. Sometimes mix-ups happen, and it's just great to talk about it out of character real quick to realign. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I feel like the actual chances of some like world-defining lore being somehow disrupted in a game is pretty low. You know, so if like something was just a little bit wrong, y'all can talk about it after the session as well. It's like, interesting.
Yep. Are you, Wargrimes, are you talking about characters talking to each other and then increasing the resolution of the world by doing that?
What do you think
that
the
works.
women are like around?
That works, yeah.
That is actually a great way if you're maybe one of the less knowledgeable about the world that's being played. You know, you could just give yourself a sort of a leg up in character creation by choosing someone that's not from around there, or maybe is young and inexperienced, or just like Wargrimes was saying, role playing it out. Say, oh, I don't know anything about this. You can just ask another who the player is more knowledgeable, but maybe the character is as well. Ask
Absolutely.
them.
I think that's enough for today. We're coming up on 39 minutes.
Oh man, much too long.
I know, right? I know. We, I think we're done with. I don't think we had any questions about the careers. Why was it all redhead discussion?
I agree with Yekrip. He's probably the most burdened among us.
Ah, yes. Being strong, smart, handsome, based, and right all the time is such a burden. It can be that way. It really do. Anyway, thank you guys for all the comments. The comments are super fun. We appreciate those. Thank you for watching. Take care.
Bye.